So, if you haven't heard, Netflix is currently in the works of creating a Resident Evil television show for their streaming platform. And while details are scarce, we have finally gotten a few details on the show that I thought it would be fun to talk about. The main things that I'm looking for are, what is the show about? When is it supposed to release? And will the series follow more in line with the movies, or will it try to emulate the games? So, let's start with some baseline information about the show and who is going to be creating it. And currently, the project is being scripted and spearheaded by a man named Andrew Dabb, an executive producer and co-showrunner for the popular television series Supernatural. In a statement from Dabb, he described Resident Evil as his favorite game of all time. I'll stop right there and say this phrasing is a bit worrisome to me, because Resident Evil is a series of games, so I don't know if he's specifically talking about the first one or what, but it's just kind of a weird phrasing. Anyway, he continued by saying what is basically just market speak to me, but he did allude to familiar faces from the series making appearances in the show. As for the details on the story, we actually got quite a decent little outline as to what story the show will tell. The first detail being that the show will have two timelines, one which takes place when the main characters are 14 years old, and one 16 years later when they are 30 years old. The official Netflix synopsis reads, in the first timeline, 14-year-old sisters Jade and Billy Wesker are moved to New Raccoon City, a manufactured corporate town forced on them right as adolescence is in full swing. But the more time they spend there, the more they come to realize that the town is more than it seems, and their father may be concealing dark secrets. Secrets that could destroy the world. Well over a decade into the future, there are less than 15 million people left on Earth, and more than 6 billion monsters, people and animals infected with the T-virus. Jade, now 30, struggles to survive in this new world, while secrets from her past about her sister, her father, and herself continue to haunt her. And based on this story synopsis, I'm kind of on the fence about it, mainly with the second timeline where Jade is now 30. I think that this sounds dangerously close to the Resident Evil movies. Personally, I don't hate the movies, but they don't compare to the games. I could get into a big long conversation about the movies, but for the sake of brevity, I'll just say that they are very action-focused, while the games are generally more slower-paced with action elements, aside from most of Resident Evil 6. In the Resident Evil games, zombies are never the norm. You're always in the wrong place at the wrong time, or sent in to deal with these things because you're a special agent. The only time where zombies were ever that big of an overwhelming force in terms of the general population was in the movies. So to hear that humans are on the ropes in the TV show, while I'm not saying it couldn't be done, it just seems like they're gonna have Jade be like Alice, which seems all the more likely since she is a Wesker. So, in terms of the two girls being Weskers, I think there are two main possibilities. Number one, and more likely, they are part of the Wesker children, a group of children who showed remarkable potential at young ages and were taken from their parents to become super soldiers in Oswell E. Spencer's eventual Ouroboros plot, if we are going by Resident Evil 5 canon. This would be their father's dark secret, and it would be interesting to learn about the Wesker children in this way. The second possibility is that they are legitimate children of Albert Wesker. This would be a very interesting thing for the show to try and pull off, because I don't see where this guy would have had the time for children. I mean, Jake Muller aside. Plus, apparently he would be raising them, which would be a really weird thing to see this guy raising his children, which makes me think that it's probably the first theory. However, it would give a strong reason for us to see returning characters if Albert was around, so who knows.
In less than 5 minutes, we'll reach the optimal altitude for missile deployment. Ouroboros will be released into the atmosphere, ensuring complete global saturation.
Anyways, that's pretty much all that we know about this show so far. We don't have a concrete release date, however, speculation seems to put it sometime between 2021 and 2022, so a pretty wide net. Personally, I'm looking forward to it, but I have tempered expectations. I think that the first timeline sounds really interesting. A story of two girls finding out about their father. Maybe he's a scientist working for Umbrella, and they slowly unravel the mystery of what he's hiding and the BOWs that he's helping to create. However, the second timeline really reminds me of the Resident Evil movies, and I don't know that we need more of that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you all in the next one.